remember we said that there was a grave concern during World War II about security, especially after the Pearl Harbor bombing. And so the big question that was on a lot of people's minds was about the Japanese Americans. Are they a security threat? Each of your documents is a response to that statement.
My author was Walter Lippmann. His claim was that he thinks that they are a threat, and our support is because he calls them in his article enemies and aliens, and he says that, like, in the article, that's a serious problem. So it's pretty much saying that he doesn't trust them. There's some, like, they're different from, like, the normal people.
My author was Henry McLemore, and his claim was that Japanese Americans are a serious security threat to the American people. And then just basically the entire article was just him, like, ranting about how, like, Japanese people, like, invaded their country and they're taking all, like, their jobs. And there's this one quote where he was saying, like, if 1 million innocent Japanese people, they can suffer as long as, like, no Americans have to suffer. And
so today, when we share the articles, you're going to be placing your sticky note on this continuum of Japanese Americans are a security threat, according to what your author felt.
the guy, like, literally hated.
He's like about here. He's not into it, but he's not completely.
I feel like it's kind of right here, because there's no real evidence of anything.
Okay, and I think my author's over here because he definitely supports Japanese Americans, and he doesn't think they pose a threat at all. My question was, why did the author believe the Japanese Americans weren't a security threat when most people believe they were?
One of mine was just, like, where does all of this, like, hatred come from? Like, whether it's his family or if it's just, like, the norm of the time to hate Japanese people.
I want you to take a look around the room, particularly at the Tug for Truth charts, and see if you notice anything.
I noticed that the green-colored sticky note group, that one tended to be closer to the yes side, and then the blue one was usually on the no side. So.
Why do you think this is called Tug for Truth?
Because people may have different opinions about what was happening at the time, so each author may think that, yes, Japanese Americans are a security threat, or think, no, they aren't a security threat. So it's like, or the people in between were like, maybe they are, maybe they aren't.
So there's this tugging going on, like in tug of war, back and forth. Well, what is really the truth, right?
I think in some very strange way, the U.S. government, ultimately does want our security, but in the case of the Japanese internment, incarceration, they kind of took it too far. And so the security threat was kind of blown out of proportion, and the cost was that Japanese Americans who were innocent and didn't have anything to do with the cause ended up being imprisoned.
Comparing and contrasting multiple perspectives helps students to see the complexity of this historical issue. Authors often present their claims as the truth, but are they? Ask students to share not only the claim, but also the evidence the author gives as a way to assess how valid the claim really is. By talking about the evidence for each claim, students are able to compare them and figure out where to place them along a continuum. During World War II, most Americans feared that Japanese Americans were a security threat, which eventually led to their incarceration. We rarely hear about the more calm and reasoned viewpoints that could have created a very different history.